Well, time for another life and death update in the fortress here. We did have a new batch of plague deaths here. Dowd Pride the 4th, Infidel the 4th, Mr. Phaserbeam, and Z-Hall the 5th. You all just suffocated. Rest in peace to you. Go fill up some more coffins. That stairwell is almost full. I don't have any more levels that I can put coffins in. Wait a second. Oh no, I thought that this was empty of coffins, but that's memorial slabs. Basically the same thing for ghosts. I am going to turn this little tomb area here. I'm going to completely stuff it filled with coffins. I'm hoping that I can use the rest of these rooms for warriors and nobles and, other stuff like that, instead of having to cram it full of regular-ass dwarfs. Dwarfs that haven't earned the legacy of a tomb yet. Let's be real, not every dwarf gets a tomb. It's a lot of effort for our empire to dig out a tomb. Stray bull calf's been struck down. But you know what? Also, we did have a new baby born into the fortress too, on top of all that death. So Del Paintblade's here. Apparently a painter dwarf. His parents are Aliunera as the mother and Irolisi as the father. Irolisi is, of course, a legendary artist, so the baby does take after Iro a little bit more there. What name should we give the baby? Irolisi? I don't know. Alalisi? I think that'll be it. Alaisi. Yeah, I think that looks right. Let's see, I just want to check one more time the names. Yep, that's a good, that looks fine to me. So it's 23rd Malachite, 1088, Midsommar, population of 80. Continuing to lose more dwarfs than we get. At this rate, in a year we'll be down to 60 dwarfs. Not even enough dwarfs to run this fortress. These roads will never get completed. Not at this rate, anyways. Okay, well, another significant date for our fortress here. Well, I mean, it's not it's not a turning point for our fortress, but it's quite awesome though. It's the start of the next tier in our war animal technology. Let's see. Our stray war black bear here that I still haven't assigned to anyone. It's still wandering around on its own. I'm not gonna put it into military service just yet. It had a black bear cub. So we do have two fully grown war bears, black war bears, running around the fortress, and they are breeding. If we can keep them alive long enough to, pump out enough bears, we may be able to eventually completely get rid of all of the war dogs, all of the other animals running around, and just have bears. It'd be completely awesome if we could get a war bear for every single dwarf. They would only need one bear apiece or something like that. It's a good day. Giant, massive, walking, gnarled beasts filled with hunger and rage. There they go. All the dwarfs are currently building the road to the east. The bridges are all built, and this little room right here is eventually going to be the housing place, I guess, for all of the switches that control the bridges. I'm thinking, yeah, that's probably where it's gonna go. That may or may not be a good idea. I'm not too sure. It could be easily overran to where I wouldn't even be able to close the bridges. Well, for the time being, that's where I've decided it's gonna go. There's gonna be a bed and a table and chair, and there's gonna be food and drink in there, and someone is going to be stationed in there. It's gonna have its own little burrow. I don't use burrows very often. In fact, I haven't used any burrows in any of my playlists yet. I don't enjoy setting them up, going through and removing all of my dwarves that are civilians, or adding all of the civilians and leaving out the military dwarves, because I think that's how it works. Not with the number of dwarves that we've had dying from the plague. I would have to continually update the list, and I am a slacker. I'll admit it. So, yeah. It's gonna have its own burrow. It's gonna be awesome. someday. Well, we got another artifact for our fortress here. This is for some future noble's room, if they ever demand more wealth than I'm able to smooth into their walls. Glenn, you've created Lolum Kekeb, Sudir Etnar, an andesite cabinet. And it is called Wooden Weld, the Cinders of Cooperation. Has no value because it's priceless. This is an andesite cabinet. All crafts dwarf ships of the highest quality. It is encrusted with andesite, decorated with blood spider treated chitin, and encircled with bands of cave spider silk. This object is adorned with hanging rings of spaniel bone. On the item is an image of dwarfs and blood spider, treated chitin. The dwarfs are laboring. The artwork relates to the foundation of shove copper by the paddle of urging of the trade of nuts in the early spring of 1076. I might actually put that in one of our future libraries. I still have plenty of plans for rooms. Oh yeah. And I've got the military over here fighting, a few simple creatures. They should be simple. Calrog's man is back there. Looks like he's getting nommed on a little bit. Left upper back tooth is gone. Lower right back tooth's gone. You had your wisdom teeth removed in combat. A, B, C. Just sent them over here to kill a Dralta. There, the Dralta's all the way up to the north. Just go kill everything, you guys. I don't want any of these ants, catching one of my woodcutters off guard and chopping him down. You have a Dralta up here. Cancel that kill order and charge after this Dralta. Besides the artifact and this little... What? The dwarfs are suspended construction of the floor. But besides this little Dralta and ant escapade in our legendary artifact cabinet there, what are you dwarfs doing? There hasn't been a whole lot going on. Our bears, of course, popped out a cub not too long ago, so our war bear population will slowly be training. And, there you go. That combat's already done with. Apparently the war bear was there as well. It goes wherever I send the military. Even though it's not in the military itself, and I haven't assigned it to anyone, it still follows the military dwarfs around for some reason. I think it knows. It knows when the fighting is going to happen, and it wants to be there to take part in it. Still waiting for them to piece up this little roadway here, and this tower wall. Still got a little bit of work to do on it. And of course, all of this flooring here. That's going to take ages. I've got all of this flooring on the east side, and then the road through here. And then the guard towers, and then some other stuff. I wish these dwarfs would run faster. They're so slow. They've got alcohol to drink, so they're not lagging behind due to their dependencies not being met. Looks like the road to the north is slowly being pieced together. Ooh, and there is an exploded caravan. Got aspen crutches in there, rope reed fiber sandals, some black Coranta jam, bunch of stuff. Blackberry jam. Yeah, that's kind of one of the things you can look forward to once you actually start leaving your fortress. You can start going and collecting everything that the caravans have left behind after being murderized. We shouldn't lose any more caravans, however, though. With our military the way it is and our fortifications being so superb, we should be able to defend any attack and let migrants in from whatever direction they approach from. I'm also saying this wall right here, I'm going to mine out this whole segment, and I'm going to rebuild it out of gold. I've got enough gold bars crafted at this point that I'm never going to turn them into armor or anything like that, but I would like to make this little beacon here. I would like to expand on that idea and make it maybe, I don't know, maybe a 3 or 4 Z level tall gold tower. Maybe some type of sundial compass, perhaps. It won't be a guard tower for archers to shoot out of. That's going to be the one corner that it actually serves no actual purpose, just fluff purpose. It's going to be at some point down the road. Oh well. I'm going to let the dwarfs get back to it. There's Shatari training. What's your skill at before we go? High Master Marksdwarf and a Grand Master Archer. Do you have any kills yet? No. Ongo Vile Rope. You've been training. One of these days, probably in the next fight, you're just gonna rake through the headshots. Headshot after headshot. I've got a good feeling about that. Oh, one more thing, actually. All of this stuff. Siege workshops. I am getting the ballistas. The ballista parts and the ballista arrows all crafted up. That way, whenever I do get the guard towers built, I already have the parts made. And I can just put the ballista in the front guarding the bridges. So it's coming along rather nicely. Won't be too much longer before we get to draw some more blood. Hopefully the plague is done with, even though since I just mentioned it, I know there's going to be a whole batch of dwarfs die before too much longer. We'll get caskets for him. Well, I really should have done this in the very beginning of the fortress, but I finally got around to figuring out how to do it. I put a garbage zone right here on the edge of a little bridge that hangs over the volcano. And I just set a whole bunch of stuff to be dumped, and now the dwarfs walk to the edge and they throw the stuff into the volcano. They don't actually put it on the bridge like I thought they would. I thought they were going to put it on the bridge and then I'd have to hook it up to a lever and then drop everything in the volcano. But no, I guess if you set it on a ledge like this, they throw it off into the magma and we're just feeding the volcano. The stuff just falls all the way down until it evaporates into nothingness. Which is, it's great. It's like atom smashing. There goes rocks and stuff. They sink all the way down. And now there's nothing left of them. There they go. Straight down to hell, where they belong. I don't know why I'm having my dwarves do that. I guess I'm just cleaning up the fortress a little bit. I still don't have invasions turned on. It's probably going to be a few more years until I get around to that. It's 1088, late winter, population of 93. And I'm getting ready to designate the rest of this roadway to be built. Mainly because my mining operation is picking up a decent amount of speed. I designated a whole bunch of more dwarfs as miners and crafted a few more picks. And so they're mining out this entire rock wall. I've left one little sliver right here. That way none of those animals can get through just yet. But before too much longer, this wall will be gone. This entire area will be open. And I'm going to be mining out the Z levels above it. One of the very last things I'll do once I've mined out all the rock is drop the emptied flat Z level down and crash through the pancaked layers there. Oh God, somebody died. Who was it? Oh, 3 dogs. A stray gazelle that I never let out of a cage, died of old age, a war dog, and a hunting dog. So yeah, some of the animals are getting quite up there in age. I'm hoping our war bears that we bought have a few more years left in them. You know, we also have merchants here. Let's request the trader, Salty Nut. He doesn't have any other jobs, I don't think. Actually, let me check. He may have item dumping turned on. Where are you at, Salty? He's actually a pretty good doctor too, believe it or not. He's our broker and a doctor, and since we don't have anyone holed up in the hospital, I guess we'll just have to wait for him to get off break. But then we'll trade some stuff to the elves that are here. At least see what they've got for us. We've got thousands of items of clothing just stacked at the depot in piles, waiting to be shipped off on the next donkey straight back to wherever they're going, I guess. I could always throw all that stuff away into the volcano. Like all this stuff, I've got it all marked to be dumped. All these bodies, all this loose stuff in the courtyard, try to get it cleaned up. I'm thinking one of the things, I think I've already mentioned this, but one of the things I'm pretty sure I'm going to do, I'm going to build a windmill farm somewhere. And then I'm going to build a pump stack. And we might even have a moat, a water moat around the volcano. It'll run right under this little pathway here. Yeah, I think that's something else I'm gonna build on this fortress. I'm probably gonna stick with it long enough to get that done. Unless a Forgotten Beast shows up and drops more extract everywhere. Haven't had any more dwarves die for a very long time now. I'm extremely thankful. I'm knocking on my particle board here. It's probably not even wood. It's like some type of compressed cheap-ass desk. It's flaky and yeah, it's crap. But I'm knocking on it anyways. Hopefully the plague doesn't come back. Because another thing that I'm getting ready to do now that I think about it is I am building a water faucet right here. I'm going to channel out a path here, have a little reservoir of water and a pump right here. And every once in a while I'm just going to turn it on and flood the central stairway with water. It'll go all the way down, wash off anyone who's walking up the stairs. I'll clean it up, and it'll go all the way down into the basement, where it can pool and collect for a while until it evaporates. I'll have to be careful not to flood too much or we'll have a swimming pool down there. Which would be rather annoying actually. So yeah, I'll do my best to avoid that. I might actually install hatches on some of the floors and then when the time comes just seal the hatches for a little bit. There's multiple things we could do if I just get motivated enough to do it with the dwarves. They take so damn long to do anything, lazy little buggers. Hauling all these items is probably going to take them the better part of a year. But they'll get it done, and yeah, they're not in any danger at this point. I don't think, unless a Forgotten Beast shows up, because Forgotten Beasts can arrive too. I'm pretty sure. Even though I have invasions off. Okay, well let's get our first bout of trading on in quite some time. It is 15th Granite, 1089, early spring, and we've got the merchants here, and Salty Nut finally limped his broken ass all the way up to the trade depot. And I say broken because he is quite messed up. Right lower arm, right upper leg, left lung. The whole right side of his body was smashed into the ground by a werewolf. I think it was a werewolf. It might have been me crushing him with rocks. I don't actually remember all the people I crushed. But this is what we got for trade. A whole bunch of large clothing there. Basically a whole bunch of pointless stuff that is already at the depot. I actually want to add a few more pages to this. Yeah, I've got pages and pages and pages of this shit hauled to the depot just waiting to be offered up for trade. I think we'll trade up that many pages. And this is going down page after page after page. Page down, page down, page down, all the way down. Apparently I've got a whole bunch of food. That must be stuff they brought. So let's see. We'll trade. I'm just going to mark up all this with a big old giant T next to it. Mark it up for trade. Look at our value there. Skyrocket. I'm going to give them everything. I don't care how much profit they actually make from this. I want them to take it back to their kingdom and be happy. And then to bring us more stuff next year that's hopefully not stockpiles of cloth. I think that's an elf thing. Might just be a rumor I've heard. I don't know if it's ever actually happened to me where all the elves do is bring boxes of cloth. But we're gonna, look at that, 20,000 dwarf bucks. We're gonna trade for all their bars, all their petrified wood block. That sounds neat. I don't need a talc block or bismuth. I don't really need any of those blocks. I don't even want to, well, maybe I could make a petrified wood block pillar somewhere in some noble's room if they like that. Let's see, green glass. I'll buy all the glass because I'm still not making any of my own. I'll buy a few fancy flasks for the dwarves. I do have a bunch of zinc flasks running around that I crafted just to craft something. I haven't had anyone yelling mandates at me, which is kind of weird. I don't want a spaniel in a cage. I don't want any of their weak-ass animals. Horse, turkey, spaniel, no. Black bear, blood, drained into a barrel. No. I will buy buckwheat. Sounds delicious. Black currant cadal and a few empty barrels. Horse milk. That does not sound so delicious. Blackberry wine, ooh, carrot juice. The blood of 100 white lions. Yes. That does sound good. I don't know if it's actually white lion blood, or if that's some fancy mixed drink. Mammoth blood, no. Eland milk barrel. Sounds better than horse milk. A couple more buckets here that'll quickly be filled up with muddy water. A copper ice axe. Let's view that. A copper ice axe. This object is adorned with hanging rings of stibnite and chicken bone. On the item is an image of a cage and pine fire. Yeah, we'll trade for that. Maybe somebody will like it. A bronze thunder hammer. It is encrusted with well-worn, crafted horn silver. That's quite fancy. Maybe someone in the military will like that too. I'm not going to assign it to him by any means. Cotton fiber chaussee. This is a cotton fiber chaussee. It is made from cotton fiber. The thread is midnight blue with blue shroom dye. I don't think I need any of that. I've got plenty of clothing laying around. I don't need any gauntlets or armor. I make my own. I will buy a blue shroom dye bag, an imperial dye bag, just in case, you know, whenever I start crafting my own clothes in bulk, we can dye them different fancy colors for the nobles, if they demand that stuff. Blackberry seeds, pea seeds. Diversify our farms a little bit. More blue shroom. Let's see. You know what? I will buy the arrows. Can never have enough metal arrows. I don't actually craft many of those, even though I probably should. They got a couple very nice large gems on clearance. We'll pick those up. And here's all that food. Let's buy that. And cotton fiber thread. Buy all that. The hospital will enjoy that. Some fancy iron greaves. It is encrusted with bloodstone and encircled with bands of bismuthite. The object is adorned with hanging rings of finely crafted kimberlite. Might as well. What about these copper greaves? Menaces with spikes of crystal glass and finely crafted pitch blende. Also has hanging rings of crumbly sandstone. That sounds like punishment. I'll give it to somebody. Cheese, a whole bunch of wonderful cheese. You know what? I was hoping they would have more for sale, because they are going to make a ton of profit. Yep, they're going to make 11,000 dwarf bucks profit. Is there nothing else I can pick up? Those are really expensive ropes. Why are they so expensive? It is encrusted with finely crafted wax opal. It is made from cotton fiber cloth. The thread is emerald with emerald dye. The object is adorned with hanging rings of finely crafted amethyst. On the item is a finely designed image of a cave rye and fortification agate. That's like the type of rope you would use to rope up a dragon with. A fancy noble's rope there. Or maybe you would use that as a bridle on a horse. I don't think a rope would hold a dragon. Unless the dwarfs enchanted it somehow. I'll buy another flask for 1,000. And I guess that's gonna be it. Cow cage. No, I've got more than enough cows running around here. They don't have any more armor. A bronze mail shirt. Sure. I'll buy that. And you know what? All of this stuff I said I wasn't gonna buy. The chaussee, the robes, cotton fiber hoods. I'm sure some dwarf is running around right now needing that. So there we go, we'll trade. With your trade goods, such as they are, I can't fathom you ending up. You can't fathom yourselves ending up with 5,000 dwarf bucks profit. You're bastards. There we go. He just wanted a few pennies more because he's a jerk. Stand down, Salty Knight. You've done us good today. Let's see. Created wealth is through the roof. 2.4 million. Other objects, blah. Where's our exported? Exported wealth, only 5,900 dwarf bucks. That's gonna go up a huge amount whenever these merchants leave. Should go up, what, 10,000, 20,000 dwarf bucks there? Something like that? Maybe we can start attracting the attention of the nobles and all the way back in our hometown of Nish Ishlam. God, they're still carrying stuff. Oh well, we've done our trading. Oh, by the way, we can't speak to any of the liaisons because you asshole dwarfs continue to elect Vaser here. Needless to say, he refuses to actually meet with the nobles. Where's he at? Where's he at in the units list? I want to see if he's just standing around face to face with the noble. He's supposed to be having a meeting. Let's see. He's in the whiskey locker there. He is set to conduct a meeting, but he never ever goes. He just sits around, and honestly, you can almost always find him at a barrel of whiskey. What's he drinking right now, actually? Does he have anything in his hand? He's coated in a whole bunch of blood, because he can't wash himself off with soap either. Needless to say, it's unfortunate that he didn't catch the plague yet. He's one of the reasons I don't believe that it is Forgotten Beast extract that is killing everyone, because he has no clothes on. He has no shoes on. He would have stepped in it by now. He can't wash himself off, so surely out of all the dwarfs, he would be the one who would get it. But no, he continues to elect himself mayor, or at least convince the other dwarfs to elect him mayor, and he sabotages our diplomatic relations. Can you see me punching him with my mouse pointer? Just punching his damn dwarf. Fortunately, I can't force, strangle, and choke him with my mouse pointer. Just put a little pressure on his dwarfy larynx right there. Woosah. He's earned this right, I guess. He did fight valiantly for the fortress. Master Ozra, kill him. It is 17th granite, 1089, early spring, and yeah, I'm just gonna let the dwarfs get back to dumping stuff in the volcano, hopefully pleasing it and feeding it so that it never kills any of us ever again with unfathomable diseases and other horrific circumstances that seem to arise around it. Well, another artifact for our collection. Hopefully it's a great sign of things to come. Maybe an omen, perhaps. Again, I don't know if nobles are enabled in this version or not. It's quite possible we'll never have a king. But Bertz, you've created Ashtashgog, a pig iron throne. And let's see, it's called Fold Static, valued at 141,600 dwarf bucks. This is a pig iron throne. All crafts dwarf ships of the highest quality. It is encrusted with goshenite and cinnamon gossular and encircled with bands of red beryl. This object menaces with spikes of pig iron, mule bone, and arachna silk. On the item is an image of a cloud in red beryl, and on the item is an image of a crutch in orthoclase. Well, if we ever get a king, that will be his throne, because it's the most expensive and... yeah, it's the most expensive throne that we've got. Either that or it'll be going in someone's room later. Our Horde Master is bitching about not having fancy enough, and let's see, he needs a better dining room and, yeah, better dining room and a better office. I don't know, maybe he'll get the throne. It'll bump up the value of his room enough. Even though it doesn't seem to matter if they're not happy with their rooms. Again, I've not had any mandates or any demands, so I do have economy enabled, but I don't think that actually has anything to do with nobles or demands or mandates or anything like that. Again, probably not enabled in this version. Dwarves are still dumping stuff off the edge here. I completely dismantled this bridge because it was dangerous. I actually had dwarves ending up on top of these pillars. There's a dog that ended up on top of the pillar. Apparently whenever dwarves walk by each other and push each other out of the way, there's a small chance that they'll hoist a dwarf up on top of a pillar. I have a feeling that that is how I've had several dwarves die in the past who've been stuck up on walls, and I had no idea how they got there. So, live and learn. So yeah, I removed that bridge and I put the drop zone right here. This is the garbage dump. This little area on the bridge right here. And they just walk up to it and throw their shit off the side. It falls into the volcano and disappears forever. They're cleaning up the inside of the fortress right now. There's Shatari shooting again. Grandmaster Mark's Dwarf now, a legendary archer. Expert brewer. Going to have to get you training, dodging soon. Your weapon skills are as high as they can go, I'm fairly certain. And it would be a damn shame if you got punched by a kobold or something because you were unable to dodge. Yep, gonna have to train that just a little bit. It is 22nd Malachite, 1089, Midsommar, population of 109. Had several migrant waves arrive on scene. They've all been named. They're intermingling with the dwarfs. I think I've got just about everybody that has signed up on the list actually in the fortress at this point with a dwarf. So good luck to everyone. The race will be on soon. And I have a feeling the werewolves will be back before too much longer. Oh, but one other minor quick update here. We've got a new dwarven baby in the fortress, Minecart Ownpaged, birthed by Z-Sword the 7th and Ferret Fiend the Unnumbered. I think that this baby's name is simply going to be Ferret Sword. Something nice and straightforward. Ferret Sword, there we go. I'm sure you'll grow up to be a great leader for our military at some point. Right now I've got the dwarf smoothing down a new stockpile area. This is going to house pretty much just finished goods. All the clothing that I've got laying around, trinkets and stuff like that I want picked up, can bring them all in here. Of course the middle rooms will be for coins and gems. Still haven't minted any coins. I'm waiting for the adamantine for that. And then I'll get to it. There's Salty Nut, Twinkle Papers. Oh, our worthless broker. And Lever Puller. That's his bedroom now, though. I've assigned it to him. I've also got a burrow set up. It's burrow 1. I'm testing out burrows. I might be able to figure them out if I'm not a smart person, though. And this one is a level 1 zone. Well, that's what it's called, but it's going to be the guard zone. It is pretty much the entire courtyard of our volcano. And at some point it'll be patrolled by the numerous squads that we have slowly training and rebuilding their strength. They're not anywhere near as strong. Our military is not anywhere near as strong as it was before. All of the werewolves and sieges that we had, the ambushes and forgotten beasts that came through and killed all of our brave warriors. And then B, the plague that we had that swept through the entire fortress and took out another huge chunk of our trained warriors. Most of the dwarfs that we've got in the military are not actually that well trained. It's going to take time. Let's see. Our bears are growing up. I did hand out all of the animals, all of the war dogs, and even the war bears that we had. Don't really care who got the war dogs. You can see over here who the owner is of the dogs. Who got the bears? That's the big thing. Here's one, that's a war dog. Here's one black bear. Lee James, the legendary liar, the mayor in training as soon as he can find a way to kill Vaser. He's got a black bear to guard him. Shatari, our legendary archer, you've got a black bear. And Infidel the 5th, you've got a black bear. Those are the only black bears at this point that are mature enough to be trained into war animals. Unfortunately, we lost a baby bear cub to a Draltha when I wasn't looking. The Draltha snuck up on the bear cub and devoured it whole. Don't worry, I did send the military there, well, after the Draltha, and we quickly dispatched it and killed the son of a bitch. But there was no way to resurrect the bear cub, which is a rather big shame. It just saddens me. Lose a bear that valuable. Who knows if they'll ever pop out another cub. I'm sure they will. And we've got something rotting away here. Got tortoises, cave tortoises, hatching all over the place. And once they grow up into be mature cave tortoises, we will butcher them for their valuable shells. Until then, though, I'm going to let the dwarfs get back to it. It is 18th sandstone, 1089 mid-autumn, population of 109 now. We are starting to roll in the dwarves. Yes, just to rake them in. They're all over the place now. Well, amidst all the chaos, another artifact has been created for us, this time by Liu Kane. You created Okaldan, a native copper current that I will never ever use. It's called Voice Couple, and it's valued at 44,400 dwarf bucks. It is a native copper corn. All crafts dwarf ships of the highest quality. It is decorated with cowbone, spaniel bone, and encircled with bands of cowbone. This object is adorned with hanging rings of fungi wood and menaces with spikes of native copper, nickel, and cowbone. On the item is an image of werewolves and dwarfs and native copper. The werewolves are fighting with the dwarfs. The artwork relates to the attack of the Paddle of Urging at Shove Copper by the Root of Boards in the late autumn of 1080 during Snumnocock, the Scorching Assaults. And on the item is an image of an aspen and cinnamon gossular. So not too bad there. I do like that you managed to include a little bit of our history here in it. Seems like most of the artifacts that are created kind of ramble on and spiel about, you know, orcs and illithids and keepers that none of us give a damn about. So, congratulations to you there for memorializing one of the assaults on our honorable fortress here. Let's see. I don't think there's actually anything going on around the fortress. It has been fairly quiet for a decent amount of time. It's 14th Moonstone, 1089, early winter, population of 116. That is phenomenal. No one's been dying from the bubonic plague for quite some time. That means the migrant waves that show up are actually able to continue adding to our population. And, yep, I'm just going to let the dwarfs get back to whatever they're doing. They're not doing anything right now, really. There's mostly just idlers and the occasional trash hauler, throwing away bones and crap we don't need. I'm letting them mingle for a while, fall in love, dance, create friendships, grudges, all the other good stuff. There'll be blood soon. Okay, well, we got a slight problem on our hands. It is 27th Malachite, 1090, Midsommar, population of 132. The dwarves continue to migrate in, completely over my initialization limit that I set. But if they're going to continue to show up, I guess we'll set them to hauling stones. We need all the stone haulers we can use at this point in the fortress to get the walls and roads built. But we have a dwarf who just went berserk. I had forgotten that this dwarf, you know, he was in the mood. He wanted to create an artifact. And at this point in the fortress, I kind of just assumed that I already have everything a dwarf could possibly want. Apparently not. And he's going to start murdering some dwarfs because of it. It is Jeff Major V, and there he is. Let's see, let's send... I just want to send one squad. I'm not going to send a whole bunch just yet. We're going to send the Boats of Kissing. I could scramble the whole military, but at this point I want to see a little bit of blood as well. The plague hasn't been anywhere, and somebody comes forward. It is Time Strangler III. Let's see. You've got a black steel shield, a red steel short sword. That is a very nice weapon. And Jeff doesn't have any gear at all. You're probably going to murderize him here. What? Thorstein, you just starved to death. How did you starve to death in there? Did somebody get punished and sent to jail when I wasn't looking? No? Starving, hungry? What? Oh my god, I don't have enough food, do I? Holy crap. I thought that I had plenty of food in my stockpiles. Apparently not. I've got prepared food all over the place. Fish, dragonfly meat, I've got plants. I've got plump helmets. I don't know if they can eat regular plump helmets. I've got plenty of prepared meals here. What the hell? Why are dwarves starving? Hungry. I I don't understand. Hang on, animals. We're gonna butcher a whole bunch of stuff here. All of these cows, butcher them. Don't butcher the crow, that's not gonna be very good meat. All of these cows up towards the top are extremely old. Leave a bull, butcher the cave tortoises, butcher all these cows. Butcher the mastiff, why not? A little bit of dog meat never hurt anyone. Butcher all these cows, all of these cave tortoises. I need plenty of food here. All the way down through these cows, that cave tortoise. I've got plenty of adult animals here. You know what, even butcher the dogs. I don't need to train them into war dogs at this point. If we don't get enough food in our bellies, we're not going to need war dogs. I will not butcher the bears, though. You can forget that. Butcher the mastiffs. So, a berserk dwarf and a starving fortress that... I don't know how this is going to turn out. Dogs. Okay, now I'm down to the hatchlings and the puppies. That should suffice. Hopefully I can get some dwarfs to butcher that. I don't know what the hell everyone's been doing. Let's see. Jeff's sparring. He falls over. Looks like he's got a lower spine injury. Time Strangler's not even breaking a sweat. Time Strangler stabs Jeff in the left lower leg, tearing the muscle and bruising the bone. Many nerves have been severed. He falls over. And yeah, he is quickly he's dispatched. If you're gonna go berserk, at least be in the military and have some type of weapon. So, boats of kissing, stand down. Are the dwarfs up here starving, thirsty, drowsy, unhappy? This is extremely unfortunate. Too many dwarfs showed up in the fortress, and there's going to be a whole bunch of people starved to death here. Oh, god damn it. I honestly thought that my food stocks were fine. There's no traders to trade with, son of a bitch. You know what? Cancel crafting the doors. I don't need any more doors at this point, just in case I have any butchers. The bins, forget the arrows. I don't need rock-tipped arrows either at this point. Everyone stand down. There's a couple of people not starving. I think the military is not starving because they've got food in their backpacks. So the dwarfs that are currently on duty, they might live. Well, there's some dwarfs not starving. I don't know, some dwarfs are too stupid to eat apparently. There's a hunger strike going on by some of these dwarfs. Biggs and Iralisi are sparring. Maybe I'm getting panicked for nothing. Just flip through a bunch of my screens here. Where's more people starving here? Hungry, starving. What do the farms look like? The farms are completely barren. Farm plot. How do I check the farm plot? There we go. There's plump helmets growing in them. There's plenty of plump helmets in the field still growing, just waiting to be harvested, I guess. You know what? Let's expand the farm area a little bit. Build a farm plot here. Just double this one up, I guess, for the time being. That is part of the farm plot. I guess it needs to be the same length. There we go. And, you know what, let's build another farm plot. Got a nice big open area here. About right there. That should be enough to feed a fortress. I mean, you can pull plenty of food out of these farm plots. You don't have to have a whole huge area dedicated to just rows and rows and rows of. Not anymore, you don't. Of course, I've got dwarfs starving, so what do I know? Got plenty of dog fat and tallow and chicken tallow all on the floor there, waiting to be cooked. Are my kitchens working? Quit rendering fat, you bastards. Quit rendering fat. Cook some meat. For some reason they continue to put render fat as a higher priority than cook food. Oh well. I think we'll be fine. A few more dwarfs will probably starve to death. And we'll bury their body unceremoniously in the stairwell here. Or in one of these tomb areas. I did turn this area into a public crypt as well. But all of these tombs, with the one that just have one little coffin in them, I guess. Those will be dedicated to legendary dwarfs. I'm thinking Vaser, our bastard mayor, who still continues to stymie our political and trade progress because he will not meet with the liaisons. I'm thinking he's going to get this one. In fact, let's set it up right now. We'll give him this tomb right here, turn it into one, assign it to Vaser. And Master Azra, I think you're going to get this one. If you continue to lead the squad successfully. He leads the boats of kissing. The stray cow's been struck down good. So they're butchering animals for meat. Are you starving too? Lead James, our legendary liar, is starving. I don't know if we can trust him on that. He dives in there and I think grabs a piece of meat to eat, yeah. So the dwarfs are starving. This is bad. Maybe I need more farmers. Let's see. Check the therapist here. Farming fields. I don't have hardly any farmers enabled. No wonder. Let's enable a whole bunch of them. I think a bunch of my farmers, most of them probably died over the last few years, and I just haven't bothered to enable anymore. I only had, I think, 5 of them enabled. Yeah, 5. There, now there's 30 farmers. That should be a little bit better. Another good reason to keep a huge reserve of animals on hand for emergency food. Look at everyone streaming in there. They're not even waiting for the meat to be cooked or prepared. They're just ripping it off the bone raw. Even the bears are showing up. Don't give them too much. They could probably eat a whole cow themselves. You know what? Ooh, look. A black bear is giving birth to black bear cubs. Our war bear army is growing quite fast, I might add. You can see a whole bunch of little bear cubs. There's one. There's an... That's not a... Those are 2 bear cubs right there. We've got plenty of bear cubs all over the place. Quick! Butcher the animals quicker. People are diving onto the table there. Not even waiting until they get back to the kitchen to eat it. Oh, that was a close one. Oh well. It is 4th Galena, 1090, late summer, and I don't think the dwarfs are going to starve. You know what? Wait, one thing I did want to do is I'm going to turn on, and I'm going to enable some hunters. It's very likely that all of these hunters are going to die, but oh well. Atir, the 8th, you're going to be a hunter. Herbert's a hunter. Bagwam, the 4th, hunter. Doodle Alien, the 7th, hunter. Z-Sword, the 7th, hunter. Stagger, 7th, hunter. Tilla. You don't have a number anymore because I kind of lost track of yours. You're probably like an 8th or 9th now. You're a hunter. 24 volunteers. You go hunt. 3-man, 7-5. You're a hunter. Also Axion, Alex, Alchemia, and kind of just going in alphabetical order there. Let's scroll down just a bit. And how about Sergeant Shima, the 8th. There's 12 hunters almost. 11 or 12. And, yeah, we can go butcher some of these camels that run around out here. And there's also occasionally jackals that come through. Jackals, sand lions, and camels are really the only things that show up around here, wildlife-wise. Roads are all planned out. I've got enough shish to dug out. And once the roads around here are completed, I'm going to finish up the wall. I need to finish this flooring as well as the wall sections. And this is all gold now. My future plans for this is to turn this into a fountain. It's going to be multiple Z levels high, gold to reflect the sunlight, and in the middle there's going to be a pump stack that pumps up water, and then the water is going to flow along the edges of the walkway for just a little bit. I don't know, probably down to like right by the gate. It'll be water. Who knows, maybe I'll channel it under the road, bring it around the magma moat and back down through there. Have a ring of water around the inside of the fortress for drunk dwarfs to stumble into and drown. I'm really just kind of hesitant to work with liquids because of the fact they'll completely butcher my frame rate. Even more than it already is. The fortress is already pressing it. I normally run between about 15 and 25 at this point. Just getting quite slow. Something's got to give at some point.